Today we don't have Terrence, but we got a special guest, Tad Prescott. How you doing, bro?
I'm doing good, man. Thank you for having me.
All right, so I want to get directly into this Cowboys talk with you right now. I'm gonna read you off something, and I just tell me your thoughts. All right,
Yes, sir.
all right. So the Cowboys departures: Tony Pollard, Tyler DeBias, Dorrance Armstrong, Dante Fowler, Neville Gallimore, Michael Gallup, Leighton Vander Esch, Jonathan Hankins, Tyron Smith. Their returns: Jordan Lewis, Rico Dowdle, C.J. Goodwin, two linemen in Trent Sieg and Carl Davis, and their only addition is Eric Hendricks. Tad, what the hell are we supposed to do with that, bro?
Man, Jerry told us what yesterday. We supposed to win with less this year, bro. So I don't know. It's
Can you
weird. It's
please make that
speculative.
make sense, though?
I can't make it make sense. I was talking to Brandon Marshall and them on paper out the other day after I went and listened to his comments thoroughly. I went and read everything, and I can't make it make sense. Like I was telling them, I think if anything, I like Rico Dowdle. I like what he brings to the field, but there was no reason that we should not have brought Derrick Henry into the building, at least to have a conversation, try to get this man, like I said, and I say that with the reports out there that he says they never contact him. So to me that's crazy. And then of course we're going to hear it's due to money, the piece of the pie thing is going to come out. Dak's salary cap hit is going to be factors or why they say they couldn't bring people in, but which Dan Orlovsky, for whatever reason, mentions every morning, but nobody discusses the fact that Deshaun Watson has a $63 million cap hit, but they seem to be rotating fine in Cleveland. So, man, so I can't make it make sense, man. It's like I said in that interview, he gives credit to guys like Dak, guys like Micah, guys like CD, saying that with them they can still win. But yeah, man, I just don't know what kind of message that is to tell your team we have to win with less.
Yeah, because you couldn't win with more.
Yeah, man,
You
somebody
got
said the same
blown
thing.
out. You got
Hey,
blown out, bro.
yeah, blown out. Like I said, it was disgusting with the yeah, against Green Bay. I hate even thinking about it. Like I
I
said,
know.
that was just trash of
I
a
know.
performance for on both sides of the ball. And again, I blame a lot of the coaching. I truly believe Dan Quinn was just out of Dallas already. I think he had already accepted that job in Washington in his head and just knew he wasn't gonna be
Really?
there
You
longer.
think so?
I I do, man. Like I said, because I mean, you get the reports coming out, and again, this isn't me like just being close to the team and seeing it's all on
Yeah.
Twitter that you see that Dan Quinn was interviewing, the week before the games, a few days before the games, or whatever it may be, where you see the guys in organizations like, and I don't even mean to say organization because I don't want to call out the Cowboys, but you see guys on coaching staffs like the 49ers or like the Baltimore Ravens who are obviously later in the season than we are, and their coaches are refusing meetings. No GM has
Oh.
no GM has ever said, no, just because he refused that meeting, we're not going to interview him later. No, a lot of those guys still went and took their interviews and got hired after their season had ended. So the fact that our coach was taking interviews this year and last year during the season still going, that's what just kind of blows me, bro.
Oh, that's terrible, bro. Because kind of, I was going to ask you about that game. So you said you kind of already answered it though. Like you think it's coaching plays into it, but I feel like why do you say coaching played a part into it, other than you think that he was already out of there? Anything particular in the game itself?
Yeah, I mean the fact that, bro, there didn't seem to be any adjustments made at all. I mean these guys just truly did whatever they want. They went back into halftime and
Oh
came
no.
back out with the same game plan and just continued to dominate us. And the reason I
Yeah.
say coaching is because although these guys are great players, these guys are phenomenal athletes. You can still only do the game plan the coach has given you. So, and
Yeah.
I mean, I know you watch Micah's podcast. I enjoy it a lot. I mean, Jordan Love
Mm,
went on there and said it, bro. Y'all had six DBs on the field. We knew what we were going to do to y'all. So, for
right.
a quarterback that just demolished you to come on your show and tell you, bro, we looked up and knew this is going to be easy today. They're not taking six DBs off the field. It's at like what point do you look down and go, maybe I need to get six DBs off the field?
Okay, so let me challenge you on that. Cause see, me, I love me some Dan Quinn, and
Hmm.
I agree with you on most of the stuff you said. But as far as the six DB part, weren't we injured? Like Leighton Vander Esch was out. We had a couple of guys out. Didn't he kind of have to do that?
No, I mean I get that. That I do get, but it's like again, that goes into the point where like we should have looked for a replacement
There
for
you go.
Leighton. I
Yeah,
mean,
there
we
you
we
go.
honestly should have. We should have looked for a replacement for Leighton earlier, especially once we knew how bad it was going to be. And don't get me wrong, I truly love Dan Quinn too. Dan Quinn was the reason that the Cowboys. I mean, Dak's first 4 or 5 years in the league, I used to get so mad at the fact that it seemed like not that we didn't turn the ball over, but it was almost that we weren't coached to turn the ball over.
Yeah, right.
Then, like there wasn't guys going for. I mean that Dak's rookie game against the Green Bay Packers, of course,
Oh,
still just haunts me because Jeff Heath had an amazing sack
yes, he
against Aaron
did.
Rodgers on like the 5. And if you watch that replay, Aaron Rodgers has that ball palmed out way off his hip, and it's like Jeff Heath
Mm-hmm.
never went for the ball.
Yeah,
So
no
that's where
way
I
he
was
didn't
like,
fumble.
yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like all you got to do is just hit it, and it's coming out
Yep,
his hand. We return that possibly for a touchdown. We go into the next round, and who knows where that goes. But like I said, before Dan got there, it almost seemed like they weren't even being coached to turn the
I
ball
turned
over.
him, and I agree with that.
And you see, and like I told guys before, I just truly believe he wasn't in this game because, of course, we saw like week 1 against the New York when he's fully locked in. There was nothing you could do against his defense. He made it hell on you. He got Micah moving around. He got matchups with D Law. He got his DBs on different guys. Like he made it hell on you. And then for whatever reason, against that Packers game in the playoff, we saw none of that.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. And that is just horrible because we had such a good season, even though we had like injuries, Trayvon Diggs, Van Der Esch, people in and out of the lineup banged up. It seemed like it was set up so perfect. You're the number 2 seed. You don't have to play the 49ers in 2 weeks, basically. You have a 7 seed coming in here. You're at home. And that happened. It's just so heartbreaking. And mind you, Ted, I know you don't know, but that was my first ever Cowboys game.
Oh, you like
I've
were
never
there in
been to a game
attendance.
in my life. 24 years, my first game. Damn
Man,
near caused frostbite, bro.
I used to truly enjoy sitting in the stands, but my first playoff game, like I said, that rookie year against the Packers. I mean, bro, it was me, my dad, our
Oh
friends,
man.
everybody realized like we were about to throw hands. So I was like, yeah, we can't sit down here any longer. But like I said, that game was a game. Like I said, that rookie game was a game. That was something that you were intensified in. You were in this
Yeah,
past season, this past last game. I mean, bro, literally after the pick six, I mean, you just saw the entire stadium
I
be flipped.
know.
I mean,
I
it was
know.
just the balloon had let out,
Yep.
and from there on, we were just wondering, can we do anything to get back in this game? And
Yep.
then, of course, Aaron Jones touches the ball, and just I think the man averaged like almost 6, 7 yards a carry.
Every time.
Yeah, that was crazy.
And then to piggyback off of that rookie game, so you're the number 1 seed. It's set up so perfectly. So this is what I'm going to ask you though, because I always wanted to talk to somebody in Cowboys Nation about this, because somebody got to understand where I'm coming from. So you're the number 1 seed, and you got a week off. You rested your starters basically against Philly the week before that, 2 weeks before that. You
Mhm.
come out, and my memory serves me correct, we were down 21-3. So that's 18 points that Dak had to come back from. How can you explain that?
Man, I mean, they were playing football. Like I said, a lot of that their rookie year was about clock management, time
Yeah.
management. But again, that's Dak's mentality, and that's not even the best version of Dak we've ever seen. And again,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of that too hinders on the great throws he was making. We were able to do with play action. I mean, we had Zeke at that time. And people get mad at me when I say this, but it's true. But it was the best line in football.
Oh
But that
yeah,
was also Tony Romo's line. Like people don't get me
absolutely.
when I okay, thank you. People
No,
don't
no,
get
no. I
me
know exactly
when I
what it was.
say
Tony
that.
Romo's line. He wasn't.
Okay, thank
Dak
you.
wasn't
Like
supposed to be playing.
no, and those guys were all that entire line was
Yes,
there for at least 2 years before Dak even touched the field.
absolutely.
So when people tried to give shit to Dak and Zeke about how they built that line for Dak and Zeke, I'm like, no guys,
Not
they built
true.
that line for Romo.
Absolutely.
But Dak, Zeke, Dez, I mean, like I said, I think that was probably what Dez's last like big season year. I know he made the Pro Bowl for us and everything that year, bro. I mean, that whole season was electric. And again, that defense was able to get rest because of how well they ran the ball that year, because of the clock management. And like I said, if we get Heath to punch that ball,
Man,
somehow the tight end doesn't let both feet slide on the inbounds, and then for whatever reason, Crosby kicks a kick that swings completely right
in
and
a
then just
dome.
hooks
I
back
know.
left like a
Oh.
Tiger Woods perfect drift shot. And yeah, we go home again, man. We go home. There's
And that
there's
was in
been
a
some tough
dome, bro.
ones.
I just don't understand it, bro. I just don't understand it, Tad, because it seems like in Dak's career, things just not everything though. some things, some seasons set up so perfect. It seems like at times, not every season, but then it just is something. It's just is something to like that's in the way. You like I said, you come out, you're down by 18 before you blink. You come out, you're down 27 nothing before you blink. You come out and you're playing the Rams on the road after a clutch win against Russell Wilson, and you get 200 yards ran down your throat by two different running backs, and
And
it doesn't matter what he does.
that wasn't what killed us. What killed us
You don't think
that
so?
game, though, if you want to talk about what killed us that game, go back and watch. I believe it was the fourth quarter. For whatever reason,
Oh,
bro,
I know
we
what you're
went
about to
for
say.
what the draw. The
Yeah,
draw was the worst play that we had that entire game. It's like you have Zeke, you need a yard and a half, or you have Dak. Put Zeke's head in Dak's ass, lean forward, or hand it to Zeke immediately on a full sprint. Don't have Zeke
no,
bounce
did
for
he?
a second, hand him, and then a draw when you're trying to get 1 yard. That to me is what I was like, no, bro, we did not just run a draw on this damn play.
Yeah. So let me.
And
So
it's the curse. It's the
that's
curse
horrible.
of Jerry Jones. And I love Jerry Jones, but I heard the.
Whoa, whoa,
No,
wait, Tad, hold on now.
no, this is my again. This ain't me taking no shots at Jerry.
Okay,
I love Jerry Jones. I've said that a million times. I've met the man several times. I love him. I
okay.
love the characters. But I this was my like what is it? What do they call it? What's the little theories you have? Conspiracy theory. This is my
Conspiracy
little
theory.
conspiracy theory I started to develop this week because for the first time ever, and it might have just been this year, but it seemed like it was a few years ago.
Hmm.
But I watched this interview between Jerry Jones and Michael Irvin when Jerry Jones was talking about their last Super Bowl. And he said, he talked to God and was like, if you just give me this
Yeah,
last one,
I don't want another
I
one.
won't take another one. I won't ask for nothing else. I love God to death, but who's to say it wasn't that horny man that took that bet? He just said,
Right.
I'm gonna just take this and give that to you. And from now on, when y'all come in, I'm gonna set everything up perfectly for you. And then we just go shit on you at the end. So
Oh, you silly, bro.
no, that's my little conspiracy. I said when I heard him say that the other day, I said, "Man, Jerry done put the curse of the great Bambino on
No,
us,
I
man."
heard it. I heard it too, and that made me sick. But I don't think so.
No, no, of course,
I
because
don't
there's no
think so.
curses. But like you said, bro, just for anybody trying to find something when it sets up perfectly for you every year. Like I said, for
Yeah,
you to go make this run, you got the number one offense. I mean, with that 1 year, I think we had we had the number one offense. We had a back with 1,000 yards, two receivers with 1,000 yards. Our
yeah.
quarterback had thrown for 37 touchdowns. And I mean, I think we advanced through the first round. But then, yeah, I think that was San Francisco's year. Was
No,
that the no?
no. 2019. So that year we didn't make the playoffs. The one where he went off. That's when we lost to the Eagles.
You're right. Oh, we didn't make the playoffs the year they had two 1,000 yard receivers.
No,
Okay.
2018 is must be what you're thinking about when Amari went crazy, but we only had 1,000 yard.
Yeah, when Marvin because we lost to the
The
what,
Rams in 2018.
and then
2019 we didn't make it
we've lost to San Francisco what
every
two
damn
times
year.
now, right?
Yeah, every damn year. And that's what I was gonna get to next. You see San Francisco's team building over the years.
Mm-hmm.
You've seen Chicago's team building now. You see the Eagles team building over the years, as you alluded to the other day, or maybe the other week.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of talk about that in comparison to Dallas.
I don't. Again, I don't know contracts. I'm not educated enough to understand the full
I
contracts and
know it.
where all that comes in. So I got to
Yeah.
see all that, but I don't get it. Like I mean, when you asked me that, I'll be honest with you. Like I said on paper out. Jalen Hurts signed a 4 year extension for 255, and yet his cap hit stays under $50 million until
No.
2029. It's like how did you do that, Howie? Dak. Like I
Yeah.
said, Dak got 160, and we had to restructure it twice already, and now, like I said, everybody's upset about the 55 this year and that's just where I get blown away because they constantly add guys. Like I said, they added AJ Brown, who I know his bag is more than CD's at right now. Like
Right
CD,
now, yeah.
yeah, I believe CD's extension would be more than what he's getting, but as of right now, he's making more than CD. Saquon Barkley's making more than any running back we have on our roster. So I don't understand that. Like you said, you see it in San Francisco. I understand with San Francisco right now. I mean, you have the luxury of literally picking the last guy in the draft, so
Yeah.
who knows where his paycheck, is stapled at it with the structures, so and of course he's coming up for an extension, but right now you're paying him I think that man makes 800,000 a year is what I saw last year. So
Yep.
you're able to build right that. You're able to bring in a guy like Chase Young to help bring some pressure off of Bosa. You can keep guys like Debo. You can bring in a Christian McCaffrey who immediately changed their offense and again just made it better. And yeah, so again, I don't know what the difference is between these GMs and these offices and the way they structure deals versus the way we structure deals. But like I said, I would love to see how they kept Jalen under 50. Literally, he's under a 50 million cap hit until 2029. And I just was
Which is
like, wow.
insane.
Yeah, like how did you do that? The man's making $255 million.
Yeah.
But his cap hit for 2029 is 99 million. So that's gonna have to be something they're gonna have to deal with, but still.
Yeah, but they got time. So that's what I was gonna piggyback off of that, right? So other than getting Derrick Henry, Tad, what else would you have done if you were Jerry Jones this offseason? Outside of at least bringing in Henry.
Yeah, bringing in here, I like the Kendrick signing. Like I said, I'm more of a fan of Devin White, but I do like the Kendrick signing just because, I mean, Devin's obviously younger, but Kendrick does know the Zimmerman system. So that's a guy that can bring on a guy like Overshawn when he comes back, kind of tell him how that stuff's going to work, let the DBs behind them know what different calls Zimmerman may be making. You got to address the left tackle because I really don't want to see Tyler get moved to left tackle. Tyler's an all-pro guard. I mean, we saw that in his rookie year. He's phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you got to address the left tackle again. Like you mentioned at the start of the show, we lost our center. I don't know if there were really any centers that were out there to be brought in. I want to say there was one I saw got released that was only out there for a day or two. I can't remember his name, but definitely that left tackle. And I'm honestly good with receivers. I truly hated to see MG get released. Like I said, I love Michael Gallup, MG 13. That's my guy. But
Right.
I mean, we know what CD can do. And again, people forget this is going to be Brandon's second full season with Dak. So I mean, he's obviously we saw how their chemistry picked up at the back end of the season. So I expect that to be at the beginning of the season to start. So I mean, like I said, we have Rico. So again, I just think that's the main thing was bringing in Henry and then addressing that left tackle after we decided to let Tyron walk.
Okay, so now that speaking of Dak and Brandon, right?
Hmm.
That I don't know what the hell happened, but after that 49ers game, something changed. And this motherfucking Dak went from like treading water to above average level
Hmm.
to MVP level in a fucking snap of a finger.
Hmm.
Do you think it's a A and a B question? Do you think Dak should have won the MVP? And do you think Dak is in his prime right now, or when do you think he entered it? Whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yes, Dak should have won the MVP. No disrespect against Lamar Jackson,
At
but
all.
again, no disrespect against him. But it's like if that I don't care what the number was. You name any other quarterback that doesn't play for Dallas that leads the NFL in touchdown passes, that has less than double digit interceptions, is the number two seed with a home game. Um, they immediately win the MVP. And again, like I said, no disrespect to Lamar. I think he had almost 10 less passing touchdowns than Dak. I don't know the exact yard count,
It was
but
it
and
was like
then
200 less.
yeah, like 200 less in yards. And then again, there were 6 games towards the back of the season that that the Ravens won with Lamar scoring 1 or 0 touchdowns. And it's like nobody like wanted to talk about that. Nobody wanted to bring that up. Instead, it was just like Lamar Jackson is the MVP. Lamar Jackson's the MVP. And it's like y'all will do anything y'all can to discredit this man. And again, is it this man y'all truly don't like, or is it the fact that he wears that star on his helmet? Because yeah, bro, that was crazy. Like, there's no way you should have taken the MVP from Dak. And then secondly, I don't think he's in his prime. I mean, like I said, he just hit 30 last year. So and Dak truly for me has been somebody that I have seen progress every year that he's been in the league. Every year he's gotten better. Like I said, for me, the only knock I really had on my little brother when he got into the league was I was like, okay, when Dak throws the ball to me, it doesn't look like the same way Aaron Rodgers throws it. Like it's not getting there the same way. It doesn't look like it has the same whip. Now, to me, there's no difference. Like I said, when that ball leaves his
Okay.
hand, it's gone. So to me, no, I don't think he's in his prime yet. I think he's getting there. And then again, with the birth of my niece, he has nothing more but motivation. So you see the guy he was just on his own, and now with the fact that he has a family to care for, that's just extra motivation. And I think that should scare a lot
Definitely.
of people.
And congratulations to him and you guys on that. That's
Oh,
awesome, bro.
thank you. Yeah, thank you.
So okay, now this is another thing. This is so funny that you brought up the hate about like the quarterback himself, Dak, wearing the star. obviously you don't know. I've been defending this man like I'm you
Yeah.
since 2016. I'm defending this man in arguments in high school, lunch tables, on Xbox, out in public. Like that's my damn brother. Like, I've been like,
Yeah.
bro, Dak has been one of my favorite players. I love Dak like he's a brother. So I have a story for you. This was during the football season, maybe November, and this is to piggyback off of the hate. I was at a bar and I had a Trayvon Diggs jersey on.
Hmm.
And I was in the bathroom line waiting for the bathroom because it was a long line. And somebody was like talking trash about Dallas. And okay, like, whatever, right? But he's an Eagles fan and he goes, man, Trayvon Diggs is cool. I just fucking hate Dak. I'm like, so what you mean? He said, I'm like, why do you hate Dak? He said, I don't know. I just fucking hate him. Why?
Bro,
Why?
again, I don't know, and it's not all Eagle fans because I got a few guys here
It's
that I go
more
to the
than
gym
Eagles
with.
fans.
Yeah, and it is more than Eagle fan, but I got a few guys here that I go to the gym with that are Eagles fans who were like truly disgusted that he was booed at his Man of the Year ceremony in Philly.
Oh,
Like when the Eagles are there, like they were truly and they're like diehard Eagles, and they were truly disgusted with it. But bro, it has to be the star on the helmet. There's nothing else because again, if you meet, I mean, you hear people, you meet my brother, you talk to my brother, you hear how much they love him, how good he does for the community, the Faith Fight Finish Foundation. Again, I mean, you don't win the Walter Payton Man of the
I
Year
know.
award if you're not a great person.
I know.
So, and then again, you don't become the face of the Dallas Cowboys if you're not an amazing football player. You don't become one of the highest paid guys in NFL history at the time he was paid. So, it has to be that star on his helmet. And people, like I said, I get Twitter fans or X fans now all the time, oh man, your brother needs to leave. And some of them it's hate, your brother needs to leave. And then other ones are like, man, your brother deserves better, whatever that may mean. But your brother deserves better. He needs to get out of Dallas and get a fan base that'll show him love. And it's like, I know there's crazy fans everywhere you go out there, but to me, that's what bothers me most. It's the direct hate I get from Dallas fans. And
Okay.
that's when I go on my little X rants or my little,
Oh yeah, I see him.
I hope he leaves Dallas too because again, I'm not disrespecting the Cowboys, I'm not disrespecting Jerry. I
Right.
never call out a player on this team unless you can deliberately look at the tape and see the lack of effort. It's just that these guys who call themselves Cowboy fans literally telling me that my brother needs to leave and I'm like, do y'all not remember what y'all had before he got here? And I'm not disrespecting Tony because Tony had great years for y'all, but do we want to talk about the guys before Tony? Like after Aikman, y'all have had nothing. And then Tony gave y'all a face, and Dak. I mean, again, Dak has exceeded those levels of Tony. Again, no disrespect to what Tony Romo did here, but to me, Dak has already exceeded what Tony did in
I
Dallas.
agree.
So, okay, so that's what I'm saying. So, for Cowboy fans to constantly say they want him out of Dallas, that he's trash, that he's the reason they're losing this team, it's like I said before, okay, get him out of Dallas, and then
See what
Capers
see
and I
what you
can
look
talk
like
next
then.
year. Yeah, we can talk next season or the season after. Where then people are like, I can't believe we let that go. We're like, then we can talk about it then. So but yeah, that's the one that bothered me most. But bro, like I said, it has to be that star.
Yeah, bro, because that shit was crazy. Bro was like, I don't know. I just fucking hate him. I'm like, okay, bro. All right, bro. So, Terrence, he shared us a story about his brother Micah, a draft story. He was talking about how Micah met a guy on an elevator that he never met on a draft day, and he was telling him how everything that's you want to happen is going to happen. You're going to go to the team you want to go to. You're going to be the best player in the league, one of them. You're going to, you know what I mean? Everything was going to happen, and that's how it happened. And they were talking about him and his family's main word was destiny. Do you have a draft day story with Dak? You good?
No, my little brother grew up a diehard Cowboy fan. Okay. Die hard, like die hard. That's all he ever wanted to be was a cowboy. And I'm talking about my brother Jason and I hated the Cowboys. They were the cowgirl side to us. I was a Texans guy because I love my Oilers, and he was a New Orleans Saints guy.
Okay.
So we of course Dak had his visit in Dallas. We really thought he was going to Arizona because he had this great visit in Arizona. Our aunt calls us and tells us all this shit, or my uncle's sister. She's not really our aunt. Our aunt married her brother. So anyway, she
Okay.
calls us and was like, I met the GM of the Cardinals and blah blah blah. They told me how much they loved you and this and that. So and then I remember like on his visit, he went up there and had dinner with the GM and the coach and was talking about like how beautiful the house was he was at. So, day one goes by, he doesn't get a call. He's like, okay, whatever. Didn't really expect that, but I expected it. And then day two goes by, the draft starts going by. He starts getting upset. We can see that, he's visibly getting upset. And I'm just watching these suck ass guys come off the board, like Kyle Cook and all this. I'm watching, you see the whole story of Jerry Jones trying to get back to Paxton Lynch and all
Paxton
this
Lynch.
stuff. And my mind just kept going to this thing he had, or this Sports Illustrated cover that he was on when he was in college. And I'm about to show you this. Let me remove all the obituaries I got on it. Sorry.
Okay.
But so this is when they were number one. This is when they were number one in the state or in the country, and Ole Miss was number two. So it says one Mississippi, two Mississippi, right? They were both undefeated, I think 8-0 at the time, right?
Right.
Look right there above Dak's face, what he's looking at. Can you read what that says?
No, I can't really read. It's kind of blurry. What does it say?
It says, "How about them Cowboys?"
Oh wow, that's tough.
Don't know why it's on there,
Yeah,
but
right.
that's literally all it says. And I mean, literally, you see his face; he is directly looking
Looking
at
right at it.
And all it says is "How about them Cowboys" by Greg Bishop. That's it. For whatever reason, it's on this college issue of Dak right there. And that's all my mind kept going to. And my mind kept going to that. And it kept going to, like you said, the destiny. My mom telling him, "You're going to be the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. You're going to be the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys." And we're sitting there and he gets that phone call. And I'm trying to pay attention. And what's funny is he gets the phone call and you see like two or three picks are up next, but you don't see Dallas, of course. But you see, I think the next pick up, like two picks after that, was San Francisco. And one of our best friends, I mean, he's been my best friend since we were 7 years old, is a diehard 49er. And I mean, he is losing his shit.
Oh
When this
wow.
phone goes off and he sees two picks away as the Niners, he's gonna be a Niner. He's gonna be a Niner. And he's losing his mind, going crazy. And we're sitting there and he's going. And even when he said Coach Linehan's name, I didn't know. Again, I wasn't a Cowboy fan. I didn't know who Coach Linehan was at the time. So, like I said, he's on the phone and he's like, "No, I don't have his number. I got Coach Linehan's number." My dad, a few of my uncles, they all start screaming. I'm kind of just sitting there like, "What the hell's going on?" They stand up and say they're Cowboys. Everybody's harassing him, surrounding him, trying to get a hug from him. My brother Jason and I are kind of just sitting back and we look at each other and, we just start crying. That's all we
Oh
can do is just
man.
start crying at the fact that our brother just got drafted by his dream team, the fact that our mom wasn't there to see it. I
I
mean, so
know.
he and I are just with each other, just bawling. And Dak comes to both of us, tears in his eyes, just, makes us stand up, give him a hug. And we're actually out at Toledo Bend fishing. We're on this fishing camp. He
Hmm.
gives us both a big hug and says, "All right, fuck it. Let's go catch some fish." And, bro, that's
I'm
what we
dead.
did. We turned around and went and caught some fish.
Yo, that's crazy. That must have been such a special moment, bro. That's
Oh
awesome.
man, it was. It was. Like I said, to me, it was almost better than like. I mean, you don't want to take away from anything because I know that's a special honor for guys like Micah to get invited to New York and everything like that. And of course, it's an honor to be drafted in the first round. But for Dak to be drafted in the fourth round, to me, from what I've been able to see, was truly like a blessing. Like I said, one, he's been doubted his whole life, so like I said, that's why he has the 135 tatted on him to remind him, that's where he was taken, and the hard work he had to do to get up there. But where I was going with this is like guys like Micah, like you have to sit in that room in New York. Yeah, that's cool. You're with your fam, you're
Right.
with your agent, and then literally the moment you get called, it's that phone call, and then you see it. They're on a plane. They got to go straight to wherever
Right. They gotta do
facility
certain
they're at.
things.
It's running this. You're already getting photos taken of you missing this, and I'm sure the party and everything you have is great and all that. But it's like you lose the personal ability of like truly enjoying that with your family right there. I mean, because like I said, you get that, and
Yep.
then you're maybe the plane ride with them. You were able to enjoy that, but after that, all it is I'm sure it's just, "Hey, this is my mom. Hey, introduce you to my mom," and then somebody steady pulling you. Where with Dak, man, I mean, we got 2 full days with him. I mean, like, well, three if you count the first day of the draft. But even after he was drafted, I mean, he didn't have to run off anywhere. There was nowhere for him to be. Like I said, we went
Right.
and fished. That next day, same thing. We fished, we hung out. We got to truly celebrate and enjoy that moment with him, with just family, before he was taking on the whirlwind to California and camp and everything else.
Yeah, that is a crazy story, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Hey, your friend being a Niners fan and seeing that and then going crazy and then he doesn't go to the Niners. He goes
Oh
to the
yeah, he was
Cowboys,
sick.
bro.
He was sick. I mean, honestly, Honestly, a few of us were sick. Like I said, I mean, my dad and Dak, of course, were by far the happiest. So I just stayed.
Here we are.
But yeah, like I said, he was pretty sick. Yeah, he like I said, he was Jacoby is his name. He was pretty sick when he thought Dak was going to the 49ers and went to Dallas. But like I said, I mean, a few of us were, myself included. Like I said, I was a big Texans guy at the time. Still am. Got a football with their sign ball, the great ones. But like I said, I kept telling. That's all I kept telling. Even though everything in my mind knew was telling me I know he's going to be a Cowboy. I kept telling him, "You going to the Texans? You going to the Texans?" And that was mainly because of the years before, the 2 years before, the Texans had taken players from
Okay.
Mississippi State. So I felt like they got a connection with Mississippi State. I was like, they probably been waiting on Dak. You're going to be a Texan, and then. Jace, our brother Jace, was a big New Orleans guy, but Drew Brees was still there at the time, so I don't know why his hope was so high on New Orleans. But then when Dak got drafted to the Cowboys, like I said, that we both told Dak that too. We're like, hey man, like don't expect us to wear the jersey, don't expect us to put the star on it. I was like, I'll wear the hat, I'll wear the
Yo.
hat with the D on it. I was like, but until you're a starter, don't expect me to do
Right.
nothing. Romo went down in that preseason game, and I talked to him after the game, and I was like, "Hey, bro, I'll have a jersey next week." Because I told my aunt the moment Romo got hurt, I mean, you could just, again, man, it's not anything that like I was like, oh, I knew
Hmm.
this would happen, but a lot of people don't know Dak truly. Again, doubt is. I mean, we had middle school coaches tell Dak he wouldn't be a quarterback, and then he was. We had the high school coaches watching him in middle school say, "You're not going to be our quarterback," and then he was. And then he goes to Mississippi State and does his thing. And I'm sorry, I kind
You're
of lost
good.
my train of thought, bragging on him a little bit. Uh, but I'm sorry,
So
what were we
you were
talking
talking
about?
about how your friends were sick, and then you were talking about how you weren't going to wear a jersey. Romo got hurt, and you're like, "Oh yeah, I got you now."
Yes, exactly. I'm sorry. So yeah, so again, high school coaches telling me he wasn't gonna be one, but Dak, other than middle school, Dak got his starting job from the starter getting
Okay.
injured
Wow.
all the way through. In high school, yeah, in high school, the senior went down. As Dak was a sophomore, went in, won the game, never gave the job back. Same thing, sophomore year in college, Tyler Russell goes down against Oklahoma State. Dak comes in, never gives the job
Wow.
back. So when Tony went down and I saw him grab his back, I know who my brother is. I know what he was. I'm at my aunt's house and I just walked into her room and I said, Dak's the starting quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. And she just starts crying. Don't say that, Tad. Don't say that. I'm like, no, he's now the starter of the Dallas Cowboys. And like I said, when I talked to him that night to congratulate him on his performance, I was like, hey, bro, I'll have a jersey
Yeah.
tomorrow. You can
And I
guarantee
knew
it.
he was the truth. Me and my dad was watching him in the preseason games where he was lighting it up, like lighting it up. It felt like a new energy.
Oh, I lost a date. I lost a
Oh
date. See,
no.
being ignorant. I was in Beaumont, Texas. Beautiful young lady had asked me to lunch and everything. I'm like, cool, let's go. She's like, where you want to go eat? Ah, man, we got to go to Buffalo
Oh
Wild
wow.
Wings. Why you want to go to Buffalo Wild Wings? We go here. No, no, I need to watch some. The Cowboys are playing. I'm trying not to tell her my
Right.
brother's playing. And then she makes me a little late when I get there. I'd already missed the first touchdown. So I'm on my phone trying to see it. And I'm like, ain't this about mad
Yeah.
as hell? I missed it. And I'm sitting there. And then now he's on the field. And like you said, he's lighting
Oh.
it up. And I forgot she's even with me. And then finally I had to explain to her what was going on. And I'm still so locked in the game, bro. The check came and I realized the girl
Oh
wasn't even there
wow.
no
That's
more.
crazy.
It was just, yeah, it was just me, some cheese sticks, and some Cowboy fans. But it
Yo,
was a
that
good
is
day.
crazy. All right, so this is the last question about your brother, and then we're gonna get to a topic or two, and we'll wrap it up. How much
All right.
how much blame do you think your brother deserves for some of the Cowboys' failures, playoff or big regular season games versus they can't beat 500 teams? How much do you think, or at the end of the games, sometimes he clutches out like the Dolphins game, and then the defense loses it, or you have other games where he's. So how much do you think?
Yeah, no, I understand exactly what you're saying. No, I understand exactly what you're asking. Um, I think he deserves as much blame as he and his team
Okay.
put on him. Is
Yes.
that fair to say? I don't think, like I said, because like you just said, it is
Team
a
game.
team sport. It is a team game. So, like you said, we've seen instances where the Miami game where it was like, oh, we're going to lose this game. And then Dak comes down, puts his foot in their throat. And then for whatever reason, the
Can't get a
defense
stop.
gave it up at the end. And you're like, damn, how are we going to do this? or we had the little bullshit against where the defense did amazing against Philly, and then Dak steps out of bounds, run into the thing. So whatever blame he puts on himself when he steps up to that podium, and whatever blame those teammates put on him is all the blame he can get. Us talking to a full
Right.
team sport, like I said, if he was truly going out there and losing the game. Like I said, if I could go out there and be like, yeah, my brother is losing this game, which he never is out there losing a game. Like he's trying his hardest to win the game. Has he maybe missed a read? And again, we never know that. Like I said, we could say a read was missed, or we could say the guy trips coming out of his route. Maybe there was
Right.
pass interference. He saw something before the hand. So like I said, the turnover, and again, when he told y'all I won't have that many turnovers,
Oh
you saw
man,
how he
yeah, right.
protected the ball. That's what I'm saying. You saw how you protect the ball. That shit the other year was an anomaly. And there's something I'm telling you. I was literally thinking about that the other night. That's why it's funny we talked about this too. They need to add a stat to the receivers with like and call it like an AI or like an assisted interception or something or a CI calls interception because he had what 15, 16 of those. There
I
were
know,
seven that
but
came
they're
off of
gonna blame
guys'
him.
hands. So that's
They're gonna
exactly.
blame
They're gonna
him.
blame any quarterback, and I'm not talking about just for Dak. I'm talking about any quarterback. We need to get rid of that. If it hits the receiver's hands, it needs to go on the receiver as an assisted interception, not
I
on the
agree with that.
quarterback.
But what about when people bring up the 49ers game, the last 2022 49ers playoff game? How would you say about your brother in that game? Because the defense
The
gave up a
one, the one
a
in
2 yard run for a touchdown. The rest were field goals.
yeah, you're talking about the last one
Yeah.
in Santa Clara. I think we just got one dimensional. I truly do. And again, if you want to put that on him and or let his teammates put that on
Okay.
him, you can. And I say that in the fact that we kind of got away from the run. Well, Tony got hurt, so we kind of got away from the run because Tony Pollard got hurt. And I think that too. I think that is what set us in that mode of one dimension. I think they went in there with a hell of a game plan to beat the 49ers. And then when you lose your star running back in the first quarter, it's like shit, where do we go? And I think for Dak and them, it was okay. It's me and you, CD. It's me and you, CD.
Hmm.
And I think that's kind of where they got lost because the one play that I point to where I say if you want to put any blame on Dak was a read where T.Y. Hilton
Oh,
busted free up the
oh,
middle. Yeah, T.Y.
touchdown.
busted up the middle, and Dak kind of sat on
Yeah.
CD for too long, and I think it ended up being an incompletion. Where if he just does what he normally does, which is come through his reads, like you said, that's a
Hmm.
touchdown. So, like I said, I think, and again, he'll tell you that more than anybody. So that's where it goes back with the blame. Like you said, as much blame as he and his team put on him, it's fair for him to
Agreed.
take.
So let's talk about the Chicago Bears, the biggest trending topic of the offseason. What, in your opinion, do you think they should have done? Do you take Caleb Williams, or should you have traded Justin Fields, or should you have kept Justin Fields with the team that you gave him?
So I think they tried to trade Justin Fields, and I don't think they were getting what they wanted for Justin Fields. So for that reason, I keep Justin Fields. You don't got to pay him for another 2 years, and he has a fifth
Oh
year that you
man.
can pick up next year. So that's what I'm saying. So you had time to work with him. I personally, everybody continues to slap me on top of my head when I say this, but I don't believe. I think Caleb Williams is a
Okay.
bust. It's
Wow.
a personality. It's a personality thing for me. Like I have a good track record with quarterbacks. I called Russell Wilson. I even called Kirk Cousins coming out of like, and I think this year I think the best one's going to be Sam Howell from
Okay.
Notre Dame. And I even and Jaden Daniels. I was on Jaden Daniels when he was under Herm Edwards at Arizona State. I watched his first 6 games as a true freshman and told Dak this kid is going to be
Hmm.
real deal. And like I said, of course you can see the talent there with Caleb Williams, but we've seen talented guys before like Tim Tebow, like Vince Young, like
Yeah.
Ryan Leaf. For me, it's a personality thing for me. But yeah, I think you keep him, draft whichever one of them that GM felt more comfortable with. Which me, it would have been Jaden Daniels, the Heisman Trophy winner, a guy that went into LSU and produced in the SEC. That's another thing for me. I just feel like DBs in the SEC are
Okay.
faster. So if you're in the Big 12 and you're throwing maybe the fastest DB in the Big 12 runs a 4.4 or a 4.3, then you come in the SEC. These guys are running 4.3s and 4.2s with ease. And for a quarterback throwing into tight windows, that's a big difference from a guy running a 4.4 corner and a
Right.
4.2 corner. So I think that right there would put me at Jaden Daniels. But yeah, I keep Jaden Daniels. Make Justin Fields go out there and try to earn some trade value. If he can't, then we put whoever I drafted as our starter, and move on from Hurts. Not Hurts. I don't know why I keep saying Hurts, but move on from Fields
Yeah,
when we
that's
can,
tough.
and move on from Fields when we
And
can.
I'm not gonna lie, you're the first person that I ever heard call Caleb a bust or think he's going to be a bust.
Oh, I mean, and again, he might not be. For me, it's just it's the person. I love confidence, bro. But there's a line between confidence and cockiness, and like you see the interviews, you see, like I said, you saw the video of him walking out onto the field for the Bears, and it looked like he was deliberately trying to ignore Keenan Allen.
Yeah,
Like it's like, bro, like I just don't get it. I know everybody got upset with with him crying in the stands with his mom.
yeah,
That
me,
didn't bother me as much because
yeah.
I get it, but I still would have preferred that you wait till you got, just because of the window it put on you. But like I said, for me, it's just a personality thing. I don't know. I hadn't heard anything about him being a bad teammate or anything like that, but it's just like these vets in the NFL, bro. You do hear stories about them, and they're not going for that
Right.
shit. They're not going for the superstar coming in here and you hadn't done anything in it. They don't care what you did in college. You've done nothing for us yet. So that's where I just kind of think maybe his personality will get in
And
the way
that's
of his
what
talent.
Jalen Johnson said from the Bears too. The same thing you literally just said. Like you got to prove it. You got to show us this and that. All this Hollywood stuff that goes out the window. So now you got a point there. So yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And then what? And then he hears that and says, "No, screw you. I'm gonna do what I do." And then you come into that locker room, and I guarantee Jalen got more
Then
guys on
you
his
then
side
you
than you
do.
got on
Yeah,
yours.
I agree with that. So a couple quick hitters, and then we'll get on out of here. Would you be open to Ezekiel Elliott return?
I don't know why Zeke
Oh,
ever left. So yes,
oh,
bring him back.
oh!
Bring him back. Get the 2-1-4 back
Please,
together.
please. Okay, who do you think's winning the NFC East?
The Cowboys. And I say that with all honesty, and I say that with all real feeling, because I was telling the guys on the paper out the other day, for the last 2 years, if not three, Capers, we've had to hear how everybody in the NFL, but let alone how everybody in the NFC is getting better, how everybody in the NFC has improved, and the Cowboys hadn't. Yet the Cowboys has still won 2 times out of the last 3 years. So you want to tell me how everybody's getting better, but that to me also justifies when I tell people how great my little brother is and how great this team is, because y'all constantly telling me that the guys in his own division are getting better than them year after year, but yet they still can't beat them. So
Okay, what do you think about the new kickoff rule?
I hadn't seen it fully. So is it set up
XFL.
like the XFL
They're
where
right in
they're
front
right
of
there
each
with each
other. You
other?
can't move until the dude catches the ball. He's the only guy with a running start, and it's 5 yards. It's like 40 yards in the 35-yard line. Thoughts?
I honestly think that's great. I think you could put maybe a few of your backup linemen up there, a few tight ends, blocking tight ends to create some lanes. You get a guy that can pick a lane and put his foot in the dirt. We're gonna have a lot of pick sixes, which is great for fantasy defenses. Make sure you go look at your
Oh,
defenses and who their
Tag
punt
giving out
returners are,
tips.
because that's gonna boost up your fantasy points right there. The rule that's getting me right now, and I understand it, is the hip drop
Oh
rule.
man.
I truly understand it as a guy who watched his brother lose an entire season to the hip drop. I get it, but it's like now these guys truly have one way to tackle these guys. If I'm a corner chasing Derrick Henry from behind, I have to try to wrap him at his waist and get drugged for another 15 yards until he's in the end zone and let go. So, like I said, I truly get it, because I never think the hip drop was like these guys doing it to intentionally hurt people, but I do think it makes it so much harder on defenders, especially the smaller
Yeah, I already
defenders.
know it. And then last question. This is my theory, and you tell me if you agree with this. I'm talking about Eagles fans specifically who'll be like, "Oh, how could you talk? Your team hasn't won anything since '95, and we're relevant. We're in the Super Bowl, always losing the Super Bowl, but that's neither the point, neither here nor there. We're in the Super Bowl. We're in NFC Championship games. You guys haven't done things since the '90s." But I look at it like, bro, Cowboys have 5 Super Bowls, and if you're a complete random who doesn't know anything about football, right? And you were to hear
hmm
let an Eagles fan tell it, they would have them thinking that they're like a Steelers, Patriots, Niners, Cowboys type organization. What's your thoughts on that?
I mean, my thoughts is that we got to be fair to them, that right now they are. Again, like you said, they haven't won it, and we have 5 rings. But were you even
No, I
alive
wasn't
to see
allowed
their
to see
last
any of
ring
them.
one? Okay, so that's what I'm saying. So you can't
Okay,
talk about them. And I only saw one live, to be honest with you, like that. I truly remember watching. I was born in '86, so I know I was here for all three
but
in the
yeah,
'90s, but I only remember actually watching one. But I mean, when it comes to the NFL, it's a what have you done for me lately league. And in the past 8 years, those guys have been to two Super Bowls. They've won one. They have two NFC championships. So yeah, if you let them hear as of right now, they're going to make you think that their accomplishments are better than the Cowboys as of right now, which I hate to say it,
Yeah, but
they
don't you
are.
gotta
I
look
mean,
in the
shit.
whole scheme of things, or no, you don't?
You can and you can't, bro. But again, we're talking on 30 years without an NFC championship appearance or a Super Bowl. And I mean the Eagles got what, four, huh? I mean, they not that far behind us, if we just being
The
honest. How
Eagles
many they
talking about
got?
Super Bowls? Eagles only got
Yeah.
one.
They
That's
only got
my
one Super
point,
Bowl?
Tad.
Oh shit. Who am
Tad,
I
you talking
thinking
about
of?
the Giants?
Oh, I'm just talking about games. Yeah, they just went a lot with McNabb. Shit. Yeah. Oh no, they went a lot with McNabb though.
They
So
got to 3
that
NFC
can't just count the
championship
last
games
10
lost,
years.
and then got to a Super Bowl loss. They won in 2018, and then they lost them this 2 years ago.
Yeah, you're saying the first loss was
First
with
loss is
T.O.,
with
right?
T.O., and then you had the one against the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Like,
And then they won
come
that one.
on,
Yeah.
Tad.
And I
Come
get you, bro.
on,
But again,
Tad.
they've been no, okay. Now I'll be real. You got me on my football knowledge on that one. I honestly thought
No,
they had more
hell
than one,
no.
and I guess that's because I listened to the Eagles fans
That's my
talk to me,
point. You
bro.
see what
Because
I'm saying?
I thought they
You
had
see
more
how they
than
had you
one, but
thinking they was like the Niners or some shit.
they did. But again, in the last 15 years, they've been to three
Absolutely.
Super Bowls. They hadn't been to
Absolutely.
any.
I hear
So
you.
I mean, like I said, they could if they want to talk their shit right now, they have all right
I
to talk their
disagree, but we
shit.
can
But
agree to disagree.
they still not better than us. They're
Never. They
still not
never
better
will
than
be.
us.
And that's how I look at it. You don't
Yeah.
have anything to talk about. You just lose. Okay, what are we rewarding second place? But I hear you though. I hear you though. So Tad, me and
I'm with
Tad got
I'm
into something earlier last week. Tad, I almost disrespected Tad, not intentionally, is a 4-time LA Fitness MVP
oh
basketball.
no, son, no. Don't disrespect me at LA Fitness, son. This is real deal
Okay,
men's
real deal
league.
manly. My fault, Tad.
Just pull
Tad,
up.
you tell him.
Just pull up. Just pull up. I don't need to tell him. I let the game speak. You see the ball. Where the basketball at? You see the basketball in the
Hold
case.
on,
Just
show
pull up.
yeah, talk your shit, Tad.
You see the
I see
basketball in
it.
the case. I'm a hooper, bro. Like I said, the football was fun. Of course, football was my dream. Football was my passion. But yeah, in my late ages of 37, I'm a hooper. I give it to young cats all day, every day. Can't wait for Capers to
Oh,
be
I'm gonna be
back in
back.
Dallas so he can pull
Tad,
up
but
the
what makes I'm
fitness. Yeah.
24, Tad? What makes you think at
So,
37 years old you have the legs to stay with me?
Cause I do it every day. I don't. Ain't nobody in my like. I literally cuss little boys out every day. I tell and like it's my bragging right, man. That's how I stay sexy for my wife. I come home and let her know, baby. I was doing the 21-year-olds bad today. And the 22-year-old couldn't mess with me today. Came here talking crazy. And they all and
Come on,
like
Tad.
the first time I really understood that I was that guy was when they started calling me old school. I was like, shit. Am I really
Uh,
old school? But yeah, I'm 37. I be hitting them with the uhs and the
oh my
uhs.
God,
I'm gonna
Tad.
put work
Tad,
on
we
you.
gotta
I'm
we
gonna put
gotta
work
set
on
that
you.
up, bro. We gotta set that up. How tall are you?
In my men's league, how tall am I? I'm like right at six
Oh
foot.
yeah, I'm 6'7".
Oh,
It
that don't mean shit to
does.
me. My brother Jace was 6'6". My entire life, I had to
To
train
get the
myself
shot
to
over
get the
him.
shot over people.
Okay.
Dak is 6'3" with a damn 6'7"
Okay.
wingspan. Come get these
Okay. I'm gonna come
buckets.
get him
I'm
too.
telling you. Ooh,
I
I'm
appreciate it.
excited.
Hey
I'm
Tad, thanks for
excited.
coming on, Brody.
Hey man, anytime. Hey, I got a game tomorrow. I'm gonna make the wife
Yeah,
get some
please send
highlights
them
on
to
a
me.
6'7" cat. Oh, matter of fact, one of the dudes in my league on the opposite team used to play for the Rockets. He about
Oh shit.
6'11". Gave him gave him gave
You
him
ain't give him
32 last
32. You
week.
gave his team 32.
No, oh
You
yeah,
ain't
I
give
gave
him
him
16,
16, but the
Tad.
team got
You ain't
32. The team got
Tad.
32.
6'11"? You shooting over 6'11"?
Yes, bro, I'm killing them. I'm telling you, I average a triple double. My teammates be laughing at me because I literally call out the stats as I go. I
Okay.
don't even want to score I don't even want to score until I got 10 rebounds or 10
Okay, Tad.
assists.
Hey, I don't know you to be no capper, so I'm gonna take your word for it, bro. Like I said, I appreciate you
Real
for
talk,
coming
bro.
on, man. We gotta talk again. Definitely send me over
Yes,
them
sir.
highlights. Big blessings, bro. All
All
right,
right, man.
Tad. You
Appreciate it.
too.
Stay up.